So the nice thing about cooking at home is that, you know, no one's paying for this meal, so it's no expectations. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be fun, you know? What's up, guys? I'm Andrew. Today I'm gonna be showing you how to make a fettuccine Alfredo. It's a comfort food for a lot of people, but it's also really, really easy to make at home. So without further ado, let's go. I'm gonna start with flour. I'm using all-purpose flour because I have it, and you probably do too. So, bam. Using a fork, we are gonna make a little well in here. 2 eggs. And 1 egg yolk. Oh my god, wait. It's fine. Bam! Cool, get rid of all the egg yolk that you spilled on the counter. Like it never happened. We're gonna whisk these eggs, slowly letting the flour incorporate. Oh my god, get it everywhere, make sure, it's an important step. And then eventually, you're gonna start to see a dough form. The nice thing about doing it with just eggs and flour is it's only gonna absorb as much flour as it can. This is where I'm gonna switch to my hands, and I'm just gonna start kneading this. I'm gonna turn it out onto the work surface. Look at that, perfect. So let's get this out onto the counter here. I'm gonna keep kneading this until we get a nice ball of dough. It's a little wet still. Keep adding flour. Remember, 2 eggs, 1 yolk for a cup of flour. That's what works for me. Eventually this is gonna get smooth. Oh my gosh. Do this for what feels like an eternity. Let me get that a little closer. Oh, yeah. Eventually it's gonna start sticking to itself more than your hands, so you're gonna lose this delicious looking skin. What you're doing here really is building gluten, which gives you this like, it's a good amount of flour, so you want to get as much of it in there as you can. And eventually, we'll get a smooth ball of dough. Look at that, look at that, can you see it? Yeah. This is at a good consistency. This is what we're looking for. Get it into a little ball. We are gonna take some cling wrap, because we don't want it to dry out on the outside, but we do have to let it sit for about 20 minutes. It's a perfect time to take a little break. We'll be back in 20 after we clean all this up. What time is that? Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes. We're gonna take this beautiful little ball of dough. Wow, it's sticky, that's okay. Don't worry about that, don't worry. We need a lot of flour. Nice. I'm gonna cut this into quarters. I find it's easier to work with using a bench scraper. Let's get these little triangles out of here. We're gonna turn this into little sheets. So this is an important step. When you're rolling out your dough, you're gonna wanna fold it over itself twice and then turn it. Meet those in the middle. Again, that's like thirds. Roll it out. So when you're rolling, you are lengthening the gluten strands. When you fold it over and then roll it this way, it just makes for a stronger, chewier noodle. You can do it a couple times. So for the next step, we need to flatten out the noodles as thin as we can get them. If you don't have a pasta roller, you can do it with a rolling pin. It just takes a long time, and I don't want to. So I'm gonna use this, and this is my favorite part easily though. This is pretty cool. Let's get this attached. Make sure it works. So there are a couple different settings on this, and we want to ride all the way down. You don't really want to jump from 8 to 5 to 1 because it's not going to create a smooth noodle. So I'm going to start on 8. Doesn't look so different right now. But just you wait. Go down to 7. You don't want to pull too much if you're using an automatic pasta roller. The idea is not to let it stretch too much or break too much. You can kind of see it cracking a little bit over here, but it'll even out. Again, you can do this with a rolling pin, but it's a lot of work. And you'll see how much smoother it ends up being. Like this will all end up coming out. I think I'm gonna keep these at about a 2. That is mainly because I kind of like a little thicker of a noodle, but depending on what you're looking for, you can go down to 0, down to 1. So I'm gonna do the rest of these, it's gonna take forever. Like I said, get a pasta roller, something fun to do, like a date night or if you're bored. Nice, nice. All right, you can stop. Feel it back here now. Okay, so we've got our pasta noodles. We are going to flour them pretty generously because they are gonna stick to each other. They're gonna want to, but I'm gonna make little rolls. Right, okay. Next, handy dandy cutting board. Now we're gonna make the noodles. But this is kind of cool because you can make them as thick or as thin as you want. I forgot to get some water boiling, so I'm gonna do that right now. These ones were already kind of well floured, so not a super big deal. Guys, look at these noodles. They look so good. Wait, yeah, this is the point where you could dry them if you wanted to. You can also freeze them. Just take this little thing, throw it in a bag, freeze it, fresh noodles. This one was much messier. Oh my God. Get rid of this. This over here. Salt your water. A lot. In the meantime, wow, it also is boiling so much faster. Is it? Yeah. Water coming to a rapid boil. Cool. Cool. Oh, hey Millie, what's up? Having a day? Also, grab an ice bath, because we want to instantly stop the noodles from cooking right before they are done. Because they're going to finish in the sauce, so you don't overcook the noodles. So, take your first handful of noodles. Let's get them in there. They are instantly going to start cooking. Keep them moving. You don't want them to clump up or anything. See the color change almost immediately. Cool. Get this out of the way. Again, keep them moving. Now, very important step. Traditional fettuccine Alfredo does not use cream. You definitely can use cream, but in this recipe, I'm gonna use just the pasta water. Okay, these noodles are done. Get these into some water. I don't want them to overcook, so they're instantly gonna stop cooking once they hit the ice. It's real elegant, and this way they won't stick together either. Save as much of this pasta water as I can. About 2 cups is gonna be good. Cool, guys. I got a pan. Don't necessarily need it to be super hot, but we're gonna have, about a cup of water. We wanna get that simmering. We're gonna throw in some butter. Now this part is super important because you don't want the butter to break. You wanna do it one at a time. Important part is just keep it moving. Keep it going, because this is gonna thicken and become like the creamy aspect of the sauce. Don't hold the butter, because it's just gonna melt in your hand. Stupid. Bam, butter in. I'm using half a stick of butter, sliced up, real easy. Make sure you spill it all over. This is where it really starts to smell good. Oh my God. As I hold the butter. Some more. Try this at home. Try it 10 times, because it's about how many tries it took me to get it right. Now, really the part here that requires a little bit of attention is incorporating the cheese, which is just super finely grated. You really want to grate it yourself. You want to use Parmesan, ideally. You want to keep this moving, and you want to incorporate the cheese slowly, little pinches at a time. If you're not moving, this cheese is going to turn into a salty piece of bubblegum in there. Let it all melt before you add more. This part takes a while. It does. Cooking takes a while. You want something to be good, you gotta spend time on it. Sorry, there's no shortcuts here. But you can already see it's starting to get like this creamy texture, and we're not using any cream. It's about 3/4 of a cup that I'm trying to get in there. Spill it all over the place, that's another important step. Now this seems like it's kind of drying out a little bit, so I'm gonna look for my pasta water. I'm not done incorporating cheese in here, and I don't want it to dry out too fast. I don't know why I poured it like that. It's messy, but have fun, knock yourself out. And you'll see, look at this, look at that! That's a creamy sauce. And now we're gonna bring our noodles back in. Cold noodles might shock it a little bit, but you know what? It's gonna warm up, it'll soften up. You know what? Maybe don't whisk so much that you lose a lot of the butter that was in there. Hit it with some pepper. Look at that. No cream. Did I? Get a little cheese in there. And then as you'll see, the sauce is gonna start to thicken up. Now, if you have it, it's a very, very good time to throw in a little bit of nutmeg. Honestly, like, you wanna taste it. If you're gonna put it in there, put enough that you're actually gonna notice. Guys, this was flour, and eggs an hour ago. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Boom, we are there. All this out of the way. This is still hot. But... Tell me that doesn't look delicious. Thanks, guys. So this has been Fettuccine Alfredo. Big shout out to my friend Devin Loretz. You can see him at Devin Loretz on Instagram or YouTube. But yeah, let me know what you think.